Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, November 21st, 2025. Football-centric show today. Thursday night, we have NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, soccer, golf on this day. News and notes, best bet, Fab 5. Just going to say it right now. I do not do projections for either basketball for today's show, so I apologize about that. So let's get going. Thursday night football last night. Interesting game, and then we'll look ahead to Sunday. Obviously. Texans upset the Bills 23-19. This came to as a surprise by me. Houston's now 6-5, and Buffalo is 7-4. Houston, I think, has to be considered in play to make the playoffs. And then they're probably going to get E.J. Stroud back next week. And then the Bills, something's off. I feel like they're only good at home and they're bad on the road. And guess what? They're going to be in the wild card round potentially if they don't win the division. And who knows? I mean, I'm dying to know on FanDuel, what is the Bills to lose in the wild card round? Like, if you had to bet, like, a team season outcome right now, like, what are those odds? And then, like, or conversely, New England to lose in the wild card round if they are not the 1 seed, if they end up playing, like, the 7 seed Chiefs, who are going to probably be favored in New England, for crying out loud. Oh my God, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Maybe next week, one day, we'll do a special podcast based on futures and in each sport, and then we'll talk about that. Okay, let's move on to Sunday. Pretty good slate. I'm fascinated to see what the lines are because I really haven't had time to look at them. I knew I was close on projections for the Texans game. 1 o'clock, CBS, Steelers-Bears from Chicago. My line for this game is Bears 4, total 50. But if Aaron Rodgers is out, it is 7. And right now, 2.5 and 44.5. I love the over. Absolutely love the over. Rodgers or not, love it. Next up on CBS, Patriots Bengals, the potential return of Joe Burrow. My line's Patriots 12.5, total 50 and 7/10, but with Joe Burrow, it's 5.5. And it's 7 and 50.5. All right, so if Burrow's back, Bengals plus 7, lean. But if not, laying 7 with New England. Next up, Giants-Lions on Fox. My line is the Lions by a whopping 19 till 49 and 4/5. One of the higher lines I've had all year. No Dart, no Scattaboo, no Neighbors, no McFadden, no Kayvon Thibodeau. It sounds like they're tanking. But Detroit's missing some dudes too. And it's 12.5 total 49.5. I'm laying the 12.5. This line was lower earlier in the week, and now Dart got ruled out, so it went up. So I'm gonna lay 12.5 with the Lions. I think this is a blowout with a capital B. And Detroit will prove to be the best team in the division. Minnesota Green Bay, good game for Fox. It's probably the Joe Davis game. My line is Green Bay by 8.5, total 44 and 3/10, and it is 6.5 and 41.5. I'm gonna take the over. I think that is a low number. I know Green Bay's defense is really good, but I don't trust Minnesota's defense sometimes, and I don't trust McCarthy. But I do like the over, but Green Bay minus 6.5 is a fun one. Maybe I'll place that bet on Sunday if it's still there for me. But I don't know if that's going to be in Fab 5. Probably not. Seattle, Tennessee on Fox. My line is Seahawks 12, total 45 and 3/20, and it is 13.5 and 40.5. I'm going to take the over. That's a low number. Seattle might go over by themselves. Colts, Chiefs is the most fascinating game of the week. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo on the call. My line is Colts 3.5, total 48 and a 10. The Chiefs are definitely favored. 2.5 and 50.5. So that line gone down because of Pacheco being out. I'm going to take the Colts getting the 2 in the hook. Oh, it just went up to 3.5 just now. 3.5 and even money. So I'll take the Colts 3 and... Oh, whoa, it's moving. Now it's 1.5. What is going on? It's 2.5, 1.5. This line is moving everywhere. Holy shit. So now it's down to now it's down to 1.5. I'll take the Colts plus 1.5 and plus 104, although I understand what's at stake. Now they just took it off completely. This game's being bet like crazy right now. But Colts plus whatever in the money line. But that's not going to be my underdog money line of the week because the number's just too. The money line number is just too low. And plus, I don't trust that the Colts are actually going to win the game. They're still missing DeForest Buckner on D and Tre'Davious Ward. Next up on CBS, Jets Ravens. My line is Ravens 14, total 49, and it is 13.5 and 44.5. Love the over. I think the Ravens can do it by themselves with healthy Lamar. The Jets defense stinks. And then the Jets, by the way, are starting Tyrod Taylor, and maybe they'll score a little bit in garbage time. Browns, Raiders, 4 o'clock, CBS. My line is Raiders by 2, total 40 and a fifth. And it is 3.5 and 36.5. Another over I like. Because I just don't trust either of these teams. Or, I mean, I do trust the Browns defense, but, I mean, Raiders, I don't even trust the Raider D, but pick 6 potential. With Shader starting, yeah. Jags Cards, my line is Jags by whopping 10.5, total 47 and 3/10, and it is 2.5 and 47.5. I absolutely adore the Jaguars here. Adore them. I don't care if this line goes up to 3. It's Jacoby fucking Brissett, and I don't trust him. And he's a pumpkin like we saw in Seattle. And Jacksonville's a good team. So I'm going to lay 2.5 with the Jags. 4:25 on Fox. Eagles, Cowboys. No division and no team in particular gets more favoritism from a broadcasting standpoint than the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like the Giants have gotten some favoritism this year with the broadcasts too. Because they ended up with Burkhardt and Brady a few times. But the Cowboys, it's ridiculous. And I get the rivalry, yada yada. Mine's Eagles by 6, total 51 and a fifth. And it is 3.5 and 47.5. The question is the over or the Eagles. So I have a 2.5 point edge on the Eagles. And I have a higher edge on the over, which is fine. I love the over in this game. A lot of people like the under. But I like the over because I think this is a good spot for like the Eagle offense to get right against the rivalry. Or against a rival, I mean. And also on Fox, Falcons Saints. My line is the Saints by 5, total 41, 19/20. And it is 1.5 and 39.5. I absolutely love the Saints minus 1.5. It's probably one of the only times I'm going to be giving them out all year. I know I gave them out in week 1 against the Cards. Probably should have hit, but it didn't. But I love it here. And at Sunday Night Football, 8:20 NBC, Bucks, Rams. I have the Rams by a whopping 10, total 47 and 3/10. A lot of injuries on Tampa. And it's Rams 6.5, total 49.5. I'm laying the 6.5 with the Rams. So, there you have it. Okay, college football now. We'll go over the results from yesterday, look ahead to tonight. And by the way, I really don't feel good about Fab 5 and the NFL right now. I just flat out don't. Because it's just like, it's meh. Okay. So college football. We had one game last night, actually, not two. And it was in the Sun Belt. Louisiana over Arkansas State 34-30, so Louisiana's bull hopes stay alive. And both teams are 5-6 with must wins next week to get bowl eligible. All right, 8 o'clock ESPN tonight. Florida State, NC State, good game. Winners bowl eligible. My line's NC State by 3, total 59 and 9/20. And it is Florida State 6.5, total 50.5. I love NC State plus 6.5, plus 190 outright. Florida State's overrated, and they're still living off that Alabama win. 10:30 Fox Sports 1, Hawaii, UNLV. UNLV by 6, total 60 and 9/10, and it's 2.5 and 64.5. I'm going to go with the under in this game. I think that's a little high of a number. Alrighty. 12 o'clock on Fox. Rutgers, Ohio State. My line's Ohio State 18, total 52 and 9/20, and it's 32.5, and I don't see a total. I'm going to take Rutgers getting the 32.5. I think Ohio State might be peak at egg, and maybe this is 40-10 Ohio State. Ho-hum, and Rutgers covers. Next up, Stanford number 3, Texas A&M. I have A&M by whopping 43.5, total 56 and 4/5. And it's 54.5 and 59.5. When are you ever going to see a total and a spread 5 points apart? Never. I'm going to take Stanford plus 54.5. That's a lot of points. ABC, number 22, Missouri, number 8, Oklahoma. I have Oklahoma by 6, total 48 and 19/20, and it is 6.5, 42.5. I love the over. John Mateer and that offense is rolling. I like what they did against Alabama. ESPN, number 13, Miami and Virginia Tech. I have Miami by 12, total 50 and 13/20, and it is 18.5 and 48.5. I'm going to take Vatech plus the points. Big Ten, Eric, Minnesota, Northwestern. I have Pick'em in 43 and 9/10, and it is 3.5 and 40.5. So I'm going to take Minnesota plus the 3.5. I don't know if they'll win, but I just think they cover. Next up, Louisville, SMU. I almost said Louisiana. And that's on ESPN 2. I have SMU by 3, total 52 and 4/5. 2.5, 51.5. Slide over. Delaware Wake, ACC Network. My line's Wake 15, total 51 and 1/10. 17.5, 50.5. I'm going to take UDEL plus 17 in the hook. Kansas, Iowa State. Fox Sports 1. Mine's Iowa State by 6, total 52. And where's this game? 3.5 and 55.5. Under. Tulsa Army, CBS Sports Network. Mine's Army by 9, total 48 and 1/10. 9.5, 45.5. Over. 12:45 SEC Network. Number 4, Georgia hosting Charlotte. My line's Georgia 33, total 53 and 7/20, and it is 43.5 and 53.5. I'm going to take Charlotte to cover. Wazoo, James Madison, 1 o'clock. My line's Jamie by 9, total 47.5. It's 13.5, 42.5. Over. Baylor, Arizona, TNT, mine's Arizona by 9, total 59 and 1/20. And it's 6.5 and 61.5. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with Arizona against Baylor. Old Dominion, Georgia Southern. My line's Old Dominion by 3, total 58 and 17/20, and it's 10.5 and 62.5. That's way too high. Give me Georgia Southern plus the points. Eastern Illinois, number 10, Alabama at 2 o'clock. Mine's Bama by 30, total 47 and 3/5. And it's 50.5 and 57.5. Eastern plus the points. Mercer, Auburn. My line's Pick'em in 52 and 17/20, and it is 27.5 and 50.5. I love Mercer getting the points. Mercer, I I think, is undefeated. 20-1 outright's fun. I might throw that in a round robin. Missouri State, Kennesaw State. My line's Kennesaw by 3, total 49 and 3/20. And it's 6.5 and 55.5 under. Nevada, Wyoming. My line is Wyoming by 9, total 42 and 3/10. 6.5, 39.5. I'm thinking. Over. Ball State, Toledo. My line's Toledo by 9, total 44 and 3/10. And it is 28.5 and 46.5. That's way too high. Give me Ball State plus the points. Marshall, App State. 230. My line's Pick'em in 59 and 3/5. And it is Marshall 4.5, total 56.5. Give me App State plus 4.5 and plus 168 to win the game straight up. 3 o'clock, UConn, Florida Atlantic. I have UConn 7.5, total 62 and 3/5. And it's 7.5 and 64.5. Slide under. Liberty, Louisiana Tech. My line's Tech by 6, total 46 and 7/20. And it is Liberty 1.5, total 45.5. I think Liberty's overvalued. Give me La Tech plus 1.5 and minus 104 to win. Sam Houston, Middle Tennessee. My line's Pick'em in 54 and 1/5. And it's 6.5 and 53.5. I'm taking Sam Houston plus the 6.5 and plus 205 to win. Next is New Mexico State, UTEP. I have Pick'em in 47 and 9/10. And it's UTEP 3.5, total 44.5. I'm going to take New Mexico State plus the 3 and a hook. South Florida, UAB. My line's South Florida 9, total 66.5. 21.5 and 68.5. I'm taking UAB plus the points. All right. 3:30. CBS. Number 15, USC. Number 7, Oregon. My line is Oregon by 6, total 56 and 3/10. And it's 10.5 and 59.5. I'm going to take the Trojans getting 10.5. I think that's as good for them that it's a day game rather than a night game there. All right, on NBC, Syracuse, number 9, Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame by 18, total 55 and 7/20. And it's 36.5 and 50.5. Syracuse plus the points. Kentucky, number 14, Vanderbilt on ESPN. My line's Vandy 12, total 54 and 3/4. And it is 8.5 and 54.5. I'm going to lay 8.5 with Vanderbilt. Next, Arkansas, number 17, Texas on ABC. My line's Texas 18, total 56 and 3/20. And it's 8.5 and 57.5. That's extremely low. I'm going to lay 8.5 with the Longhorns. Is Arch Manning hurt or something? No. All right, just making sure that he was healthy because I'm surprised how low that line is. Fox Sports 1, Michigan State, Iowa. My line's Iowa 13.5, 12, 49 and 7/20, and 17.5, 42.5. Over. Duke, UNC. ACC Network. I have Pick'em in 51 and 17/20, and it is Duke 6.5, total 51.5. I'm taking Belichick's company 6.5 for Carolina. And they can win too. They're plus 210. Jacksonville State, FIU, CBS Sports Network. I have Jacksonville State by 3, total 56 and 2/5. And it is Florida International 1.5, total 56.5. This is kind of a pick 'em. Take Jacksonville State plus 1.5 and minus 108 straight up. Southern Miss, South Alabama. My line is Southern Miss by 9, total 54 and 3/4, and it's 1.5 and 53.5. I'm laying it with Southern Miss. That is way too low. East Carolina, UTSA. My line's East Carolina by 3, total 57 and 3/10. 2.5, 62.5. Under. All right, 3:45 ESPNU, number 24, Tulane Temple. My line is Tulane by 6, total 55 and 3/20. And it is 8.5 and 54.5. I'm taking Temple plus 8.5. I think they're happy with their coach getting an extension. And I believe they're a win away from bowl eligibility. So I'm going to take Temple plus 8.5. 4 o'clock ESPN2, Kansas State, number 12, Utah. I have Utah by 12, total 55 and a fifth. And it's 17.5 and 51.5. I'm going to take Kansas State plus the points. Number 18, Michigan and Maryland, Big Ten Network. I have Michigan by 9, total 46 and 3/20. 13.5, 46.5. Terps plus the points. On Fox, TCU number 23, Houston. I have Houston by 9, total 54 and 2/5. And it's 1.5, 55.5. I love Houston minus the 1.5. Is their quarterback hurt? Why is that so low? No. I don't know why that line is so low, but I'll lay it with Houston. Oklahoma State, UCF. My line's UCF 12, total 49 and 2/5. And it's 13.5 and 47.5. Slight over. Georgia State, Troy. Mine's Troy 18, total 54 and 17/20. 10.5, 51.5. I'm going to lay it with Troy. Coastal Carolina, South Florida. 4:15 SEC Network. Lions pick them in 49 and 11/20. And it's 23.5 and 50.5. I'm going to take Coastal in the points. Furman, Clemson on the C-Dub. My line is Clemson 13.5, total 52 and 3/10. It's 41.5, 54.5. I'm going to take Furman getting all the points to cover. Yale Monroe, Texas State, 5 o'clock. My line's Texas State by 6, total 58. 19.5 and 58.5. I'm taking Yale Monroe plus the points. That's way too many points. I think Texas State's overvalued. Pitt, number 16, Georgia Tech on ESPN. Mine's Georgia Tech by 9, total 60 and 7/20. 2.5, 6.5. I am laying it with Georgia Tech. That's way too low. Nebraska, Penn State on NBC. Mine's Nebraska by 6, total 51 and 19/20. I know Penn State's favorite because it's Penn State. Yep, 7.5 and 44.5. I'm taking Nebraska plus 7.5, plus 245 to win. New Mexico Air Force, CBS Sports Network. Mine is New Mexico by 9, total 59. 3.5, 53.5. So the question is, where do I go? I'm going to lay it with New Mexico. Do the dangerous game and lay it with the road favorite. Fox Sports 1, Colorado State, Boise State. I have Boise 15, total 49 and 2/5. 16.5, 45.5, over. Number 20, Tennessee at Florida on ABC tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say, with Chris and Kirk on the call. My line's Tennessee by 9, total 58 and 7/20, and it's 3.5, 57.5. Florida is so overrated. I'm laying it with Tennessee. Number 21, Illinois, Wisconsin, Big Ten Network. My line is Illinois by 9, total 45 and 13/20. And it's 8.5, 41.5, over. Cal Stanford, ACC Network. My line, Stanford as a 6-point dog, total 48.5. And it is 3.5, 47.5. I'm going to lay 3.5 with Cal. North Texas, Rice on ESPNU. My line is North Texas 6, total 59 and a fifth. 17.5, 55.5. I'm going to take Rice getting all those points. Western Kentucky, LSU on SEC Network. My line is LSU by 3, total 48 and 13/20. And it's 21.5, 50.5. I'm taking the points. Number 11, BYU, Cincinnati, 8 o'clock on Fox. Mine's BYU by 3, total 54.5. I know Cincinnati's definitely favored. No, BYU 2.5, total 55.5. Wow, I can finally stay away from a BYU game. It's projected right on, slight under, but I'm not touching that game. ESPN2, number 25, Arizona State, Colorado. I have Arizona State by 9, total 50 and 3/20, and it is 7.5 and 46.5, over. Washington, UCLA, 10:30 on NBC. That's late for NBC. So NBC has 3 games tomorrow night. That's interesting. My line's Washington by 9, total 52 and 7/10. And it's 10.5, 51.5. Slightly in UCLA. CBS Sports Network, Utah State, Fresno State. My line's Fresno 9, total 54 and a fifth. 2.5, 50.5. I'm laying it with Fresno. And Fox Sports 1, San Jose State, San Diego State on Fox Sports 1. I have San Diego State 18, total 47 and a quarter. 12 and a half, 50 and a half. I'm going to lay it with San Diego State. Okay, now move on to the NBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to the weekend. So there were only 4 games last night. There's a bunch tonight. It's the NBA Cup. I'll give out picks, but I don't think we'll see them in best bet because I didn't put in effort. Magic over the Clippers, 129-101. Grizzlies over the Kings, 137-96. Sixers over the Bucks, 123-114 in OT. Spurs over the Hawks, 135-126. Okay, group play tonight on Prime Video, Pacers, Cavs. This is East Group A. The Cavaliers are 14.5 point favorites, so it's 39.5. Just because of how bad Indiana is, I'm going to lay it with Cleveland. All right, next Celtics. That is East Group B. These two teams played the other day too. Boston's 15.5, total 22.5. I'll take the over. Wizards, Raptors. That is Group A. Raptors are 13.5, total 237.5. I'm gonna also take the over. 8 o'clock, Heat, Bulls. That is Group C. Bulls are 2.5, total 249.5. Under. That's way too high. 8:30. Pelicans, Mavs. That's Group B. Mavs are -4, total 233.5. Cooper Flag's back. I like the over. 9 o'clock, T-Wolves, Suns. That is a good game. Surprisingly good game in Group A. Suns are a 4.5 point home underdog, total to 31.5. I'm going to go over in that game. Prime Video, 9:30, Nuggets, Rockets. Fantastic game. That's Group C. Rockets are 2.5, total to 35.5. I'll lay the 2.5 with the Rockets. I don't feel good about it, though. It's only because Rockets home. 10 o'clock, Thunder, Jazz. That is Group A. The Thunder are giving 16.5, totals to 33.5. I'll go over. And then Blazers, Warriors. That is Group C. The Warriors are 9.5, total 236.5. I'm going to take Portland getting 9 and a hook, only because they're always in these games. I mean, I don't think they're gonna win, but they're just in a lot of games. All right, Saturday, 1 o'clock, Clippers, Hornets. 5 o'clock, NBA TV, Knicks, Magic. 7 o'clock, Hawks, Pelicans. 8 o'clock, Wizards, Bulls. NBA TV, Pistons, Bucks. 8:30, Grizzlies, Mavs. 10 o'clock, Kings, Nuggets. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Heat, Sixers. 6 o'clock, Hornets, Hawks. Magic, Celtics. Clips, Cavs. Nets, Raptors. 7 o'clock, Blazers, Thunder. 8 o'clock, Spurs, Suns. And Lakers, Jazz. Okay, now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Jackets over the Leafs 3-2 OT. Caps over the Habs 8-4. Isles over the Red Wings 5-0. Panthers over the Devils 1-0. Flyers over the Blues 3-2 OT. Lightning over the Oilers 2-1 OT. Kraken over the Blackhawks 3-2. Golden Knights over the Mammoth 4-1. Avs over the Rangers 6-3. Stars over the Canucks 4-2. Sens over the Ducks 3-2. And the Sharks over the Kings 4-3 in a shootout. So I got the Sharks pick right. 7 o'clock, Blackhawks Sabres from Buffalo. Why the fuck are the Buffalo Sabres a -184 favorite? Is Connor Bedard hurt or something? Because no, he's not. Like, why? That's probably the worst line of the year. Blackhawks +152 over under 6.5. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Blackhawks plus 1.5 is minus 164. Sabres minus 1.5 plus 134. I absolutely love the Chicago Blackhawks here. At plus 152. My goodness. NHL Network Wild Penguins. Both teams have the same number of points. Pittsburgh's a slight minus 110 favorite. Wild even money over under 5.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 50. Pens minus 1.5 plus 198. That's a hard one. I'm going to go with the under at the plus money, though. 8 o'clock, Hurricanes Jets. That's a great game. That's the game of the night. Canes minus 160. Jets plus 32. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Canes minus 1.5 plus 148. Jets plus 1.5 minus 184. I like the under at minus 115. I wanted to take the Jets to win, but I think that'd be a good same game, or Jets in the under. And then 10:30, Bruins Kings. Kings minus 200, Bruins plus 164, over under 5.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 158, Kings minus 1.5 plus 138. I'm going to go with the over in that one. Saturday, 1 o'clock, NHL Network, Blue Jackets, Red Wings, 3:30, Blues, Islanders, 7 o'clock, Leafs, Habs, NHL Network, Oilers, Panthers, Devils, Flyers, Kraken, Penguins, Lightning, Capitals, Sens, Sharks, 8 o'clock, Avalanche, Predators, 9 o'clock, Rangers, Mammoth, 10 o'clock, Stars, Flames, and Golden Knights, Ducks. All right, Sunday, 1 o'clock, NHL Network, Hurricane Sabres, 4 o'clock, Jets hosting the Wild, 5 o'clock, Kraken Isles, 7 o'clock, NHL Network, Avs, Blackhawks, 8 o'clock, Bruins, Sharks, and 9 o'clock, Flames, Canucks. Okay, now move on to college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we'll look ahead to tonight and the weekend. I'm going to make blind picks without the lines that I project. But based on projections I've had, I can probably have a grip of who I'm going to pick. All right, results from yesterday. Boardwalk Battle, Incarnate Word over Southern Indiana, 87-81. Boardwalk Battle, High Point over UIC, 90-80. Marshall over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 98-70. Baja Mar, number 1 Purdue over Memphis, 80-71. Indiana over Lindenwood, 73-53. St. Bonaventure over Robert Morris, 75-61. Stony Brook over Brown, 80-70. Number 14 St. John's over Buckdale, 97-49. Number 20 Tennessee over Tennessee State, 89-60. Cornell over Colgate, 95-94 in double overtime. Nebraska over New Mexico, 84-72 in the Hall of Fame Classic. Vandy over Texas Southern, 109-74. Princeton over Northeastern, 70-57. Sunshine Slam Campus game, FA over Pacific, 82-59. A-Sun SoCon, Queens over UNC Greensboro, 101-94. Northern Kentucky over Central Michigan, 90-66. Iowa over Chicago State, 93-54. Miami of Ohio over Mercyhurst, 76-71. Skyscanner Legends, UCF over Pitt, 77-67. Fordham over LIU, 69-53. Miami over Elon, 99-72. Ohio State over Western Michigan, 91-58. Tarleton State over Rice, 90-74. Oklahoma over Oral Roberts, 95-71. North Texas over Central Arkansas, 74-56. Illinois State over Rockford, 93-48. Missouri over South Dakota, 102-68. Baja Mar, number 15 Texas Tech over Wake Forest, 84-83. Number 2 Houston over Rider, 91-45. Cal Poly over Utah, 92-85. Hall of Fame Classic, Kansas State over Mississippi State, 98-77. USC over Troy, 107-106 in triple overtime. UNLV over St. Joe's, 99-85. And Arizona State over Hawaii, 83-76. All right, finals from earlier today. Paradise Jam, Yale over Green Bay, 73-67. That is going to be from the Virgin Islands. Utah State over Tulane, 96-75 in the Shriners Children's Charleston Classic. That's in Charleston. Air Force Classic, Alabama State over IU Indy, 101-80. That is in Colorado Springs. Where Air Force is. Greenbrier tip-off, Butler over South Carolina, 79-72. That is in Colonial Hall in West Virginia. And as is this game, that's about to tip off as we're recording, Northwestern Virginia. So Virginia is 4.5 totals, 148.5. I'm gonna lay it with Virginia. I just think they're better than Northwestern. 5:30. Paradise Gym, Iona, Akron. Akron's 11.5 totals, 173.5. I'll lay it with Akron. 6 o'clock on ACC Extra, Georgia Southern, Florida State. Florida State's 18.5 totals, 175.5 under. Lafayette Stonehill. Lafayette's 1.5 totals, 140.5. Over. SIU Edwardsville Air Force. Edwardsville's 2.5 totals, 130.5. I'll lay that with Edwardsville. Air Force is going to lose yet another bye game. And is that in the Air Force Classic? Yeah. They're going to lose a bye game in their own freaking Classic. Columbia Lehigh. Columbia's 2.5 totals, 144.5. I'll take the over. ESPN 2, number 6, Louisville, Cincinnati. Good game. Louisville's 8.5 totals, 163.5. I actually lay it with Louisville. I just think Louisville's that much better. Detroit Mercy, number 17, Michigan State. Michigan State's 31.5 totals, 151.5. I'll lay it with Michigan State. Charlotte App State. App State's 1.5 totals, 133.5. That's a hard one. I'll go over. Central Connecticut, Rutgers. Rutgers is 15.5 totals, 138.5. I'll lay it with Rutgers. Here's a good one. West Virginia, Clemson from Charleston. If I had to guess, I'd say Clemson's favored. I can't find the game. West Virginia, Clemson. Why doesn't FanDuel have this up? It's a big game. Oh, it's a 6:30 game. That makes sense. Clemson 3.5 totals, 133.5. Over. Niagara number 5, Duke. That's 7 o'clock. There we go. Duke is 39.5 totals, 146.5. Away with Duke. Merrimack number 10, Florida. Florida is 37.5 totals, 158.5. Away with Florida. Loyola Maryland number 12, Kentucky. Kentucky's 36.5 totals, 158.5. Away with Kentucky. On Peacock, Mississippi State, New Mexico. That's from the T-Mobile Center. Mississippi State 6.5 totals, 151.5. Tough one. I'm going to take New Mexico getting the hook. 6 and the hook. Coastal Carolina, Western Illinois. Coastal's 3.5 totals, 138.5. Away with Coastal. USC Upstate, West Georgia. West Georgia, believe it or not, is a favorite. 2.5 totals, 153.5. I'll take the over. UNC Wilmington, Radford. Wilmington's 3.5 totals, 151.5. I'll take Radford in the points, but I don't really feel good about it. Albany, Siena. So, Siena is a big favorite. 10.5 totals, 139.5. I'm going to take Albany getting the points. Morgan State, Old Dominion. Old Dominion's 13.5 totals, 156.5. I'll lay with Old Dominion. Holy Cross, Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart's 8.5 totals, 152.5. I'll lay with Sacred Heart. Penn Drexel. Drexel's 4.5 totals, 153.5. Because it's in Philly, I'll take Penn getting the points. 7:30, St. Thomas in northern Colorado. St. Thomas is 3.5 totals, 156.5. I'll lay it. South Alabama, UAB. UAB 6.5 total, 148.5. South Alabama's undefeated. I'm taking them plus the points. 8 o'clock, Jackson State, number 21, Arkansas. Arkansas 29.5 totals, 159.5. I'll lay it. Georgia State, South Dakota State. South Dakota State's 12.5 totals 144.5. I'll lay it. Omaha, LSU. LSU's 12.5 totals 166.5. I'll lay it. Austin P. Tulsa. Tulsa 8.5 total 148.5. I'll take the over. Hampton, Norfolk State. Norfolk 2.5 total 133.5. I'll lay it with Norfolk. Little Rock, Texas State. Texas State's 5.5 totals 132.5. I'll take Little Rock in the points. Evansville, Oregon State. Oregon State's 6.5 totals 136.5. I'll lay it with Oregon State. Manhattan A&M. My line is A&M 23.5 totals 163.5. I'll lay with A&M. Purdue, Fort Wayne, St. Louis. St. Louis is 20.5 totals 167.5. I'll lay it. Northern Illinois, Loyola, Chicago. Loyola's 13.5 totals 115.5. I'll take Northern in the points. Loyola, Chicago's been meh. UC Riverside, San Diego at 9. My line, or I don't have a line, my bad. FanDuel line. 7.5 totals 151.5. I'll lay with San Diego. Stephen F. Austin, Pepperdine. Pepperdine is a 1.5 point dog, total 146. I'll take Pepperdine plus 1.5 and minus 102. I don't know why they're a dog to Stephen F. Austin. Denver, Colorado State. Colorado State 17.5 totals 149. I'll take Denver to cover. That's an in-state game. Northwestern State, Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's 18.5 totals 147.5. I'll lay it. Sanford, New Mexico State. New Mexico State's 8.5 totals 144.5. I'll take the over. UC Davis, Colorado. Colorado's 14.5 totals 152.5. I'll take UC Davis plus the points. They're supposed to be good this year. Arkansas State, SMU. Or good for that conference, I mean. SMU 15.5 totals 172.5. Too high, under. ESPN 2, Georgia Xavier. Georgia's 11.5 total 165.5. Oh, I love Xavier. 11.5. I know it's in Charleston, but still. New Orleans, Fresno. Whoa. FanDuel, what are you doing? They're adding more games. Yeah, my screen just started going a little chicanery. Fresno 6.5 total 154.5. I'll lay with Fresno. Don't feel good about it. CBS Sports Network, Baja Mar, number 15 Texas Tech, number 1 Purdue. Purdue 3.5 total 153.5. I'll lay with Purdue. They're the best guy on the court. Although Jacob Toppin has an argument for that. On Peacock, Kansas State, Nebraska. That's from T-Mobile. Nebraska's 1.5 total 168.5. I'm going to go under. That's a high total. 10 o'clock, Southern San Jose State. San Jose State's 5.5 totals 150.5. I'm going to lay the points in San Jose State, but I don't feel good about it. Louisiana, Santa Clara. Santa Clara 19.5 total 139.5. I'll take Louisiana plus the points. That's too high. Grambling, Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist 14.5 total 144.5. I'll lay the points. Montana State, Long Beach State. Montana's 3.5 total 141.5. I'll lay it with Montana State. Cal State, Fullerton, Portland. Portland 5.5 total 162.5. Under. I think that's high. Seattle, Stanford. Stanford 9.5 total 152.5. I'll lay it with Stanford. Sac State, Cal. Cal's 20.5 total 155.5. I'll lay it with Cal. And last but not least, 10:30 Big Ten Network. Presbyterian, number 19 UCLA. UCLA 26.5 total 132.5. I'll lay it with UCLA. All right, now we look ahead to the weekend. We're gonna try to be quick here with this because we're approaching the 45-minute mark of the podcast. At noon, Wagner, Georgetown, NJIT, Navy, Fairfield, Lemoyne at 1:30. Basketball Hall of Fame Showcase, Harvard, BU. That is from Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. 2 o'clock, LIU, number 8, Illinois, UMass Lowell, St. Peter's, Central Michigan, Marquette, Cleveland State, Kent State, NC Central, Dayton, Nichols, Oklahoma State. 3 o'clock, Virgin Islands game. Queen City Classic, Maryland Eastern, Binghamton, ASUN, SoCon, Mercer, Eastern Kentucky. 4 o'clock, True TV, Hall of Fame Showcase, Providence, Penn State, Miss Valley State, Bakersfield, Duquesne, Northeastern, Brotherhood Run, Niagara, Howard, ASUN, SoCon, North Alabama, Chattanooga, Boardwalk Battle, UIC, Southern Indiana, Pensacola, UT Martin, Prairieville. Santa Barbara, Nevada, ASUN, SoCon, Western Carolina, Lipscomb. 5 o'clock. These are all 5 o'clock games coming up. Texas, Rio Grande, Missouri State. 5:30 Virgin Islands game. 5:30 on Peacock, San Fran, Minnesota. 5:30 St. Thomas, Fullerton. That's the Portland Invitational. 7 o'clock Boardwalk Battle Championship, High Point, Incarnate Word. 7 o'clock ETSU MTE, Morehead State, UL Monroe. North Dakota Coastal, ASUN SoCon, VMI Stetson. Ball State, Indiana State, Milwaukee, Wichita State. Gardner Webb, Richmond. 7:30 Coppin State, VCU. Portland Invitational, Northern Colorado, Portland. Pensacola, Southern Miss, Northern Florida. 9 o'clock Texas, Arlington, Weber State. 10:30 Northern Iowa, UC Irvine. Sunday, 1 o'clock ESPN, Charleston Classic. Air Force Classic, SIU Edwardsville, Alabama State. Arkansas Pine Bluff, Miami of Ohio. Queen City, Binghamton, Canisius. ACC Extra, Delaware State, Miami. 1:30 Pensacola Consolation Game. 2 o'clock SC State, South Dakota. Old Dominion Drexel. Alcorn State, Oklahoma. West Georgia, Georgia Tech. Eastern Washington, Central Arkansas. Robert Morris, Monmouth. On YouTube, Portland Invitational, North Colorado, Fullerton. Brown, Maine. Longwood, Columbia. CBS Sports Network, Greenbrier Mountain Division. Virginia Butler. Jacksonville Classic, Southern Illinois, Delaware. Mount St. Mary's, West of Michigan. 3:30 ESPN, Shriners Classic, Palmetto Bracket. 4 o'clock ACC Network, Howard, number 5 Duke. Run the Brotherhood Run. Pensacola Championship at 4 o'clock also. Lamar, Montana. Yale Monroe, East Tennessee State in the ETSU MTE. Portland, St. Thomas, Portland. Norfolk State, Wyoming. Greenbrier Mountain, 5 o'clock CBS Sports Network. South Carolina, Northwestern. Air Force Classic, IU Indy Air Force. Sky Scanner Legends, Quinnipiac Pitt. Coastal Illinois State. Cayman Islands Classic, Benice, George Washington. Paradise Jam at 5:30. Jacksonville Classic, Youngstown State, UNC Greensboro. 6 o'clock True TV, Bryant, number 3 UConn. ASUN SoCon, Queens Foreman. Detroit Mercy DePaul. Charleston Classic, Low Country Bracket on ESPN2. 7 o'clock North Dakota, Western Illinois. Mercyhurst Marshall. 7:30 Cayman Islands, Murray State, Middle Tennessee. 8 o'clock US Virgin Islands, Paradise Jam. 8 o'clock Winthrop, Jackson State. And at 9 o'clock ESPN2, Charleston Classic, Low Country Bracket. Whew, that's a lot. Okay, soccer. We'll go over everything going on. Not going to do picks other than MLS playoffs and the U.S. Women's and the USL. All right, yesterday soccer, Liga MX, Pachuca over Pumas, UNAM 3-1, Tijuana over FC Juarez 3-1, Champions League Women's, Atletico Madrid over FC 4-0, Chelsea, Barcelona 1-1 draw, Oud, Heverlee, Leuven, Roma 1-1 draw, Bayern over PSG 3-1. And then finals from today, Valencia over Levante 1-0, Mainz, TSG 1-1 draw in Bundesliga. French League 1, Marseille over Nice 5-1. ELC, Blackburn over Preston 2-1. Women's FA Cup, Wolverhampton over Stoke City 2-0. USL Super League tonight, 7 o'clock, is Carolina and DC. The Pro League, Al Hazim over Al Khalod 2-1. Al Idiad over Al Raida 2-1. And Al Ali over Al Kidiash 2-1. And then the Scottish Championship between Queens and Ross County got postponed for whatever reason. All right, Premier League tomorrow, 7:30, Burnley, Chelsea, 10 o'clock, AFC Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton and Hove, Brentford, Fulham, Sunderland. On NBC, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Wolverhampton, Crystal Palace, and at 12:30 on NBC, Newcastle and Man City. La Liga, 8 o'clock, Alaves, Celta Vigo, 10:15, Barcelona Athletic Club, 12:30, Osasuna, Real Sociedad, and 3 o'clock, Villarreal and Mallorca. Bundesliga, 9:30, FC Heidenheim and Borussia, Bayern, SC Freiburg, Borussia, Dortmund, and then VfB Stuttgart, FC Augsburg and Hamburg, VfL Wolfsburg and Bayer Leverkusen, and in 12:30, FC Cologne and Frankfurt. Serie A, 9 o'clock, Cagliari, Genoa, Udinese, Bologna, 12 o'clock Fiorentina Juventus, and 2:45 Napoli Atalanta. French League 1, Lens Strasbourg at 11. At once, Rennes and AS Monaco. 3 o'clock PSG Le Havre AC. Dutch Eredivisie 10:30 NEC Breda PSV Eindhoven. 12:45 Ajax and Excelsior FC Volendam FC 20. Heracles Go Eagles at 3, and Sparta Rotterdam and Fortuna. Pro League 8:40 Damak Al Najma, 9:25 Al Etifak and Al Faya, and 9:40 Al Hilal and Al Fateh. Premiership 10 o'clock Dundee Falkirk, Hibernian Dundee, Kilmarnock Motherwell, Rangers Livingston, and 3 o'clock St. Mirren and Celtic. And then games that we're doing picks for. MLS playoffs, Vancouver, LAFC, 9:30 on Apple TV. Obviously, second round of the playoffs. This is the 2-3. I'm pulling it up right now on FanDuel. Vancouver plus 110, LAFC plus 220, draw plus 250. This Vancouver team is very good, and I think that they have been clutch throughout the year in spots, and getting them at plus money at home, I think, is music to my ears. So I am going to take the Vancouver Whitecaps at plus 110 to knock off the beast that is LAFC. And then the Women's League. You have Washington and Gotham. I'm trying to find the line here for this. And this is it for the title. Gotham is plus 170. Washington's a home favorite, plus 150. Draws plus 210. I think this is going to be close. I think it's going to come down to kicks. And I think Gotham's is going to win in kicks. But for the show, I'm going to pick the draw at plus 210. All right, Sunday, 9 o'clock. Leeds, Aston Villa. 11:30 NBC. Arsenal, Tottenham. Obviously, Premier League. La Liga, 8 o'clock. Real Oviedo, Real Valenciano. Real Betis, Girona. 10:15. 12:30 Getafe, Atletico Madrid. And 3 o'clock on ABC. LK, Real Madrid. Bundesliga, 9:30 RP Leipzig and Bremen. And 11:30 St. Pauli and FC Union Berlin. Mexican Liga MX, 8 o'clock FC Juarez and Pachuca. Serie A, 6:30 Verona and Parma. 9 o'clock Cremonese and AS Roma. 12 o'clock Lazio Lecce and 2:45 Inter and AC Milan. French League 1, 9 o'clock AJ Auxerre and Lyon. 11:15 Brest and Metz. Nantes Lorient. Toulouse Angers and 2:45 Lille and Paris FC. Dutch Eredivisie, 6:15 Herenveen AZ Alkmaar. 8:30 Feyenoord and AC Nijmegen. Telstar FC Utrecht and 10:45 FC Groningen and PC Zwolle. ELC 7 o'clock Sheffield Wednesday Sheffield United. And then you have the Women's FA Cup on Sunday. But MLS, we have 2 games. 5 o'clock from Cincinnati. Cincy, Miami. Miami plus 120, Cincy plus 190, draw plus 270. Best guy in the court's Messi, and you're getting Messi at plus 120, so there you go. 7:45 from Subaru Park in Chester. You have the Union and NYCFC. The Union are minus 120, NYCFC is plus 270, and so is the draw. I'm taking the draw. I think it's very valuable. I think it's going to go to kicks, potentially. I know the Union have history with, in this era that they're in, over the past, 5 years or so, with so many heartbreaking losses. I just feel like this game's going to be close. And I do think NYCFC has a shot at the upset. But I'm going to take the draw at plus 220. And then we have the other game in the West on Monday. So we'll preview and pick that on the Monday podcast. Okay, now move on to golf. We'll do a quick glance at the leaderboard for the tournament that is currently going on, the RSM Classic. Andrew Novak's in first with 16 under, tied for second, 15 under is Michael Thub-Jordan and Patrick Rogers, and then tied for fourth with 14 under is Grayson Sieg, Sammy Valimaki, and I'm trying to pull up the rest of the yeah. And then sixth is Johnny Kiefer, 13 under. Tied for seventh, 12 under. Eric Cole, Hayden Buckley, J.D. Potts, Ricky Castillo, Quade Cummins, Andrew Putnam. And I really don't have time to go over the rest. Notable cuts. Zach Johnson cut. Among them, Rio Hisatune. But yeah, we'll do more golf on the Monday show. Obviously, we just don't have a lot of time. All right, on this day, the baseball MVP ones should be coming to an end finally, and then we're going to see like old free agent signings, which is going to be fun, and then the COVID NBA stuff. So yeah. All right, here we go. On this day, November 21st, 2024, Shohei Ohtani, NL MVP, Aaron Judge, AL MVP. What else is new? The same two guys won it this year, and the same two guys are probably going to win it next year. 2021, Florida fires Dan Mullen. And then that's when they ended up hiring Napier. After that, Kings fire Luke Walton. 2016, U.S. men's national team fires Jurgen Klinsmann. 2022, Colts release Shaq Leonard. 2024, Bryce Underwood flips to Michigan. I just think Bryce Underwood's underwhelming. Bryce underwhelming. Instead of Underwood, underwhelming. 2023, Padres hire Mike Shildt. 2015, Northern Iowa upsets number 1 North Carolina. I remember that. That was a big deal. And then Carolina, I think that same year, ended up still making the national title game. And that was when they lost to Villanova on the Jenkins 3. 2020, the Hornets signed Gordon Hayward. I remember that. And then obviously Hayward's not in the league anymore. 2014, the White Sox signed Adam LaRoche. And 2020, the Raptors re-signed Fred VanVleet. So there you have it for on this day. Now move on to the news and notes. I'm going to rapid fire news and notes. There's a lot. And the big news of the day centers right in Los Angeles with the Lakers as they bring in 2 monster names, Farhan Zaidi and Andrew Friedman of the Dodgers, as they are working with the team as part of an ownership transition. And so the Dodger people are taking over the Lakers, and you know the buses are gone, and this is going to be a rock star franchise again. I mean, it is already. But this living in the past Lakers stuff is going to be gone, and this new ways Dodgers-like run team is going to be taking over the Lakers, and I'm fascinated to see how this plays out and how they build around Luka Doncic in the long term. And the other big news of the day is that the New York Liberty hired Chris DeMarco as their head coach. He's been with the Golden State Warriors since 2012. Um, I'm fascinated to see how this is going to play out. Obviously, DeMarco has been a part of the Warriors for a long time, has a ton of championships. But how does that translate to the women's game is the question. Darren Peterson's going to be out for the Players era with a hamstring injury. That's brutal for Kansas. And I think that is going to be a factor into their NCAA tournament seeding, potentially. Lane Kiffin decision timeline as he's expected to announce career plans November 28th, so a week from today. Baylor will not fire Dave Aranda. He's coming back in 2026 and mid 5-5 season. The NFL ref avoids major injury as Adrian Hill's Achilles is intact after a Thursday Night Football exit. Return to season not ruled out. Wow. LaMelo Ball open to trade as he's increasingly frustrated with the organization. And then LaMelo comes out and says trade rumors are false info. Jonathan Kuminga missed the Blazers game. Or he's missing the Blazers game. JJJ didn't play against the Kings last night. Domantas Sabonis out 3 to 4 weeks with a meniscus that's partially torn in his left knee. Grayson Rodriguez did not have his Angels physical before the trade. That's interesting. The Grizzlies to explore John Morant trade as NBA Insider believes it will be hard for Memphis to get value for Durant or Morant. I agree with that. Jonathan Kuminga viewed as trade chip as veteran NBA executive believes Warriors forward contract can be used in a deal. I mean, of course. They signed him to trade him. The Mavericks want to keep Kyrie as they like the way Kyrie is meshing with Cooper Flag in practice settings. Anthony Davis must reveal trade value as the Mavs need Davis back on the floor before considering a deal. I agree with that. The 49ers will not tag Juwan Jennings. Unlikely to give him a long-term deal. All indications that Breece Hall could stay with the Jets at the right price. The Cowboys could tag George Pickens. That's interesting. I think they will. But CeeDee Lamb came out and revealed the benching reason. They were benching the first drive. Him and George Pickens missed curfew after a night out at the casino. That is so funny. So freaking funny. In Vegas. Keon Coleman, healthy scratch again due to coach's decision. Wow. They do not like this Keon Coleman. We talked about it earlier. Jameis Winston starting again against the Lions. Jackson Dart is not cleared concussion protocol. Rick Pitino told the Knicks to draft Donovan Mitchell in 2017. The Knicks should have listened to him. But then again, alternate universe. They're probably better off with how it happened now rather than then. Because you never know. Sam Laporta had a back procedure as he is unlikely to return this season. That's not great. So CJ Stroud's probably going to be back next week. He's very close, but he didn't play last night, obviously. Bucky Irving out with foot and shoulder injuries. Connor Hellebuck out 4 to 6 weeks to undergo a minor arthroscopic knee procedure. That's why they are such a big home underdog. That makes sense. The Trop's roof is fixed as the Rays share update on Dome after last year's hurricane damage. LSU opened to Coach O on the snap. If/when Lane Kiffin is hired, school would welcome back Coach O. Are we sure that he's going there? Like, everybody thinks it's a sure thing. Remember Kevin Durant to the Knicks was a sure thing and it wasn't. A lot of people thought James Harden was going to go back to the Rockets, and that turned out not to be the case. He ended up going to Philly, or I forget. Did he go to Philly, or did he end up going to the Clippers? I think that was when he opted in and they traded him to the Clippers. Brian Cashman had a sleep out as he jokes flying in for charity event and mean pronunciation. Alright, so there you have it for news and notes. Alrighty, best bet brought to you by FanDuel. I really am going all in on an NHL underdog tonight. The Chicago Blackhawks are going to have the best guy on the ice in Connor Bedard. Someone explain to me why they're plus 150. I'm going all in. Plus 150, Blackhawks over the Buffalo Sabres. All right, Fab Five. I'm going to start with college. I love the college slate better than the NFL. The college slate is way better options. An honorary best bet, NC State plus the points against Florida State. I strongly considered that one as well. There's a lot of college games I like this week, so we're going to get right into it. Pick number 1, I'm going with Belichick's team. I'm taking North Carolina plus 6.5 against Duke. I think Duke's overrated. And Carolina is a team that needs these wins for Bulge, but they need to win their last 2, and I think they're going to try for Bill. If they don't win, they'll cover 6.5, I think. Pick number 2, I'm laying 8.5 with Texas against Arkansas. I think too many people are down on this Texas team because Arch Manning's not living up to the hype. But I think that is more of a reflection about the roster and the offensive line than Arch. So for the first time this year, I'm going to lay 8.5 points with the Texas Longhorns. Pick number 3, I'm going to lay 1.5 with the Houston Cougars against TCU, so I'm going against TCU again. I think they're the better team in their home. So I feel like you're getting a discount on the Cougars. Pick number 4, I'm laying 2.5 with Georgia Tech against Pitt. I really think Georgia Tech's a good team. Is King out? If he's out, then I'm changing the pick. Haynes King. Yeah, I'm laying Georgia Tech 2.5. Haynes King's playing. They're just better than Pitt in their home. And I know I bet Pitt against Notre Dame, so maybe it's PTSD from that. And then pick number 5, I'm taking Nebraska plus 7.5 against Penn State. Penn State's favored because they're Penn State. Let's just be real. I'm taking Nebraska plus the 7.5. And then my outright underdog for the show. I have a couple of intriguing options. And gosh, was I tempted to take Mercer against Auburn 20-1. Because I think Mercer's really good in the FCS. And I just feel that they have a real chance to win. So, underdog outright winner of the week. Sam Houston 2-1 at Middle Tennessee is pretty good. Um, but I like this one in particular better. Um, it was Sunbelt. It was somebody crappy in the Sunbelt that I have as a favorite, and they're a dog. I thought it was UL Monroe, but it wasn't them. Damn, I forgot who it was that I liked. Was it New Mexico State? Oh, it was App State. Plus 168 against Marshall. There you go. App State outright against Marshall. Why was I blanking? I knew I had the right conference. I just had the wrong team. I don't know why I thought it was UL Monroe. All right, NFL Fab 5 is a lot harder this week. And obviously last week I had my banner NFL week. I went 5-0 with the Fab 5 picks, and I nailed Denver outright. But yeah, I nailed the Giants Green Bay over. I nailed Carolina plus the points. I nailed Eagles minus 2.5. I had Pittsburgh minus the points, and I had Tennessee plus the points. And I thought about Tennessee for outright upset, but I went with Denver instead. All right, so here we go. Fab 5. Pick number 1, I'm laying the lumber with the Lions, 12.5 against the Giants. I think the Giants are terrible. I think that they're going to end up with a top 5 pick again. I think they're tanking. And Mike Kafka, I feel bad for him. He's gotten a lot of coaching interviews and such, but he ain't it for the Giants. The Giants need to go big and bold with their hire and not the Patrick Mahomes puppet. So I'm going to lay 12.5 with the Lions against Big Blue. Pick number 2, I'm going with the total. I'm going over 44.5 in Ravens Jets. Lamar healthy. Jets, obviously, their defense is bad without Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams now. And Tyrod Taylor, I can see throwing a little bit in garbage time. So I like that a lot. Pick number 3. I am going to go with over 44.5 in Steelers Bears. I just think that is too low. I know Pittsburgh's offenses can be very limited, but their defense just isn't the same anymore, and I don't even trust the Bears' defense. So over 44.5, maybe 26-23 gets me home. 24-21 is 45 points. That gets me home. So 2 totals and a side. Pick number 3, I absolutely adore the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 2.5 against the Cards. I know Travis Hunter's not there, but I genuinely believe that this Cardinals team stinks. So I'm going to lay 2.5 with the Jags. In the last pick, I'm laying 1.5 with the Saints against the Falcons. No Penix, and I don't know why it's only 1.5, so I'm going to lay 1.5 with the Saints against the Falcons. Am I going to make a change? Yeah. I'm mulliganing one of my totals. I'm mulliganing the Bears Steeler total over 44.5. And instead, I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to lay 6.5 with the Rams against the Bucks. The Bucks have just so many injuries right now, and the Rams are just rolling. I know they don't have Harvenstein, the tackle for this one, but I think the Rams win by more than a touchdown. I hate going against the Bucks in a big game, in a night game, and like I said, I hate it, but they have so many injuries. So I'm going to lay 6.5 at the Rams against um, the Bucks. So I took off the Steeler Bear over, and that was probably, and I think that's a good decision. And then my underdog outright pick of the show. Chiefs Colts. So the Colts are plus 152. I really don't want to pick that because, well, it's the Colts and Daniel Jones. Um, but I guess I'm going to have to do it. I don't feel good about it. But the money line's over plus 150. And based on the value, and then just for the content, I'm going to do it. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't want to make this pick. It'll make the Giants look worse if this happens, but because of Jones. But I know it's a must win for the Chiefs. But that's the value on the board. I'm taking the Colts plus 152 to beat the Chiefs. Based on the premises of value, not necessarily going all in thinking that they're going to win. Okay. So there you have it. Long show. We'll be back on Monday with everything. And by the way, schedule for the podcast next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Obviously no Thursday, Thanksgiving. And then on Black Friday, we will not be doing a show because we never do the podcast on Black Friday. I think I'm going to have some activities for you throughout the week on the show. Have a good one, everyone.